If you're looking for some cheap and reliable Destiny 2 silver, look no further than the video sponsor, AOA.com. Use the code THEHUNTER at checkout for 3% off. What's up guys, it's the Hunter Project here, welcome back to my channel. Today we will be going over a little guide for solo players in Trials of Osiris to try and increase your chances of going flawless. Before we do get into the video, as always, if you do enjoy or find anything useful, or both, if you could just slap the like button on this video, it'd be extremely appreciated. It helps out the channel a ton, and obviously it does help bring other people who may find this useful to this video. But with that, let's jump straight into the video. Season of the Lost has harboured the launch of the revamped Trials of Osiris, and the mass majority seem to be extremely pleased with what Bungie have done with the game mode, myself included. And I know there are a lot of new solo players on Destiny 2, and many will be jumping onto endgame PvP for the first time, so I'm going to go over some key essential tips for increasing the odds of you winning your matches to hopefully eventually achieve that sweet flawless victory. First off, we have the passages that we should be going for. This may be a no-brainer to many of you, but I am going to mention it anyways. The Passage of Mercy is the one you want to go for, especially if you are solo. This will grant you one loss to be removed, meaning you can still go flawless given you've only lost once on your card. And this is very useful as when soloing trials, you can never be sure if your teammates will be as skilled or more skilled than you, or possibly even worse than you. And this goes for the enemy team too, so it's very useful in giving you a little bit more leeway in trying to get to the lighthouse without having a team that either holds you back or a team that's just way too good for your just skill level in general. But next we do have the follow the leader strategy, and what I mean by this is as a solo it's most likely going to benefit your team the most if you play off your teammates, as of course you won't have callouts. You want to be watching the angles that they can't watch for themselves and be ready to push the enemy if your teammate engages on an opponent that possibly might be by themselves, so you can outnumber them, which is a key little tip for Destiny PvP, is outnumbering your opponents, as team shots in Destiny are massive to winning matches and gunfights in general, and if done right your team can obliterate enemies if targeted together simultaneously. This however does not mean that you should be bunched together though, as of course if you are too close together and someone fires some type of explosive or area of effect like attack at you, of course it will hit all your teammates and including you, and it could wipe your team in one go. And this includes even like a sniper rifle like Cloud Strike, which if one of your teammates get headshot or you get headshot and everyone's bunched together, your entire team is definitely out for the count. But just make sure you're staying relatively close together, where you're able to cover one another whilst also holding down a decent amount of area, just so you're not giving your enemies the chance to push up and get a better position than you. This brings us on to our next tip, map control. You want to make sure you know where the flag spawns on the given map you are playing, and this is generally going to be the area your team will want to hold and control, so the enemy would have to push you if it does get to extra time. Map control can go a long way, as holding an angle in Destiny, it will benefit you a lot in your gunfight, as when they push for you, they will have to snap to you where they don't know where they're going to see you and they're just going to have to guess, whereas you know exactly where they're coming from, so you could already hold on that angle and only have to adjust slightly and instantly start firing. And once again, team coordination and just learning how your teammates will play will go a long way, and even though you will most likely have just only matched with them and just met them, you can learn a lot from the first 1 or 2 rounds I should say, and adjust yourselves to play with them and benefit where they're lacking, just so your team's really just well-rounded. And to add on to how your team should be coordinated and working together, you want to make sure that you don't go on any like silly flanks where you're leaving your team for way too long, or you're isolating yourself, because if your enemy is smart, they will pick on you as soon as they can, because they know you're by yourself, so that all 3 of them can just get off your teammates and go all 3 on you, as of course 3v1 is a much better circumstance than going 3v3. So if you do isolate yourself, just be warned, you may get just picked off very easily. So you do want to play around your teammates and flank only if you 100% know your enemies are distracted and at least there's two teammates on the enemies. You never want to leave your teammate by themselves in like a 1v3 situation, as they will just pick off your teammate and then pick off you. So that's 100% something you never ever want to do. And the next tip is to know the map. This goes hand in hand with our map control tip. Knowing the map goes a long way, knowing how your enemies will traverse the map and what peaks the enemies will try to get you from, allowing you to pre-aim those areas when trying to push up through the map. Knowing how your enemies will traverse the map will also allow you to predict how they will push up on you if they do attempt to do so, as well as what angles they may already be holding. You will see in the gameplay in the background how at the beginning of every round I am able to quickly get to the sniper lane that generally is the sniper lane of this map, and try to see if I can get a pick, as the enemies very commonly challenge that lane. And of course you don't want to challenge it if you're way too late onto the lane, so you try to get there as soon as you can and then try pre-aim that area. Of course this may not always go as planned. You may get there, be already holding the angle and still lose the gunfight. That definitely happens, it's happened to me a lot of times, but there's also been a lot more times where I've already been holding the angle and I managed to get a pick straight off the bat, which obviously instantly gives you the edge during that round. Our next tip is to try force yourself to aim at head height. So this is a common tip for a lot of first person shooters. There isn't a lot to this tip, but it will take some focus and practice to get used to. The simple reason behind learning this is so that you have less adjustments to make when the enemy actually appears on your screen where you are aiming. And as you know in Destiny, headshots are everything. Finally guys, just playing the game and taking a serious note of common plays and behaviour of players on every map is key to becoming a better player in Trials and just in the game in general, and increasing your chances of getting that flawless card completion. Game sense is everything in competitive shooters, and Destiny is no different. One thing I would highly recommend for anyone trying to get better at the game is to watch professional players play the game and just watch how they play. It will increase your skill and game sense a lot. Pay close attention to how they think when they're traversing the map, holding angles, reacting to enemy engagements, and how they use their class to their advantage. As any class is viable in Destiny. Don't think that, oh, I'm a hunter, but I've seen this streamer play as a Titan, so that must be the meta class. That is not true at all. You will definitely find a streamer on every class who's extremely good at the game. It will just take practice, and you want to make sure you know how you can best utilize your class abilities, and especially your super, as that will go a long way in being able to make sure that you're making good use of the strongest ability you have in your arsenal. There are many tips that you will be able to find watching these players, and even just little tips and tricks videos on Crucible that you can easily find on YouTube, so I definitely recommend checking some of those out. But with that said guys, that does bring us to the end of this video. If you did enjoy, be sure to smash the like and subscribe buttons. It's extremely appreciated and helps out the channel a ton. And comment down below with any useful tips that you have for any other solo players, as well as a tip that you may have found useful from this video, and I look forward to reading all of your comments. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye.